Okay, in today's video we're working on a 1999 Chevy pickup, the LS model. Just your standard extended cab, long bed. Working on the master cylinder and the brake booster. You can see down there how rusty that is. I've looked everywhere on this truck for a brake fluid leak and I cannot find it. So it's got to be leaking inside the brake booster. So we're going to change them both out. It's got to be leaking inside there. I mean, it'll go through 32 ounces in a, if I drive it a lot, it'll go through 32 ounces in a month. That front section right there is always dry. So we're going to get this changed out today. There's not a whole lot of videos on the 1999 Chevy truck, so I'm going to make one. I did see one on there about 99 Suburban. That's a pretty good video, but then another one on there was had so much glare and sunshine, stuff like that, couldn't hardly see what he was doing. So I like doing videos on a vehicle that don't have very many videos about it. So we're going to change the brake booster and the master cylinder. Going to change them both out. But this video is going to be different than what everybody else does. It's going to be so much easier, and I'm hoping it's going to work. A little trick that I learned from swapping out interior. When you can't even find your clip that connects onto the back of this, on that rod that goes on your brake pedal, when you can't even see it, well, then it's going to be, and I hear people taking 20-30 minutes to just try to get the clip off. We're going to find an easier way, and I think it's going to be much easier. So we'll get right to it. We'll go to the inside now. Okay, we're on the inside. There's the brake pedal. That's the brake booster over there. Take all that out. I took off his trim piece right here, up under the steering wheel. What we're going to do, we're going to drop the steering column. That's how we're going to make it so much easier. I've taken out them two bolts right here. That one and that one. Still got one more over here. It's like it's like that might all come out together. We'll take it off and we'll see where we're at. Okay, I got that big metal piece off, and I got a little metal piece right there to go. Them are 7mm, and the big ones right down there on them, they're 10mm on them bolts right there. So we got one more to go on this. Okay, this little piece right here, give it a good pull and that'll pull that out of there. Kind of, I don't know what was hanging it up. Got that pulled out. Oh no. I see a big bar across here. You might have to take off more than I thought. Got them two bolts right there. Two bolts right there. Well, we'll just got AC hose here. We're gonna just keep going. You gotta, yeah, right there is your bolts for your steering column itself. Got two there, two here. We'll get this pipe here out of the way. We'll keep going. Okay, we got this piece off. That's the bar that goes across the middle here. When I first seen that, I said, oh no, we ain't gonna be able to do it the way I wanted to. That was only 4 15mm bolts. So now we got all that cleared out of the way. Now we got that bolt there, another bolt on the other side. We'll be able to drop that steering down and we'll see where we're at then. So I'll be right back. Okay, we've got one little bolt that goes through that. And we'll be able to pull the steering column out. Okay, we got the little bolt out of the steering shaft. So I'm not going to disconnect this all the way. I'm going to just unplug your wires, and you should be able to pull it right out. It's all nice and loose now. So unplug your wires and be able to pull it right out. Shift cabled over here too. Got to be careful with. Right down there. Probably got to take it off right here on the side here. So I'll just start working on that right there. Probably right along here. Shift cable and stuff right there. Take all that off the side before you pull the steering wheel off. I thought I was going to find an easy way to change out the brake power booster and try to get to them bolts a lot easier, but this is not going to let me. There's too much metal in the way. Okay, this yellow connector right here. This yellow connector right here is the airbag. Okay, these are the parts we're getting to. I done pulled the clip off and done got to pull it off about 1 inch. I kind of got ahead of myself. I was going to push it back, but I can't get it to go back. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it off of there. I'll show you what the clip looks like. Yeah, that's what the clip looks like. I guess that's your standard clip. I was going to buy one of them last night. About $4 and $6 shipping. I didn't go and do that. I'll just use the one I got. I don't think I tore it up. I'll just kind of bend it back where it was at. Just gotta bend it together a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna pull the rest of it off. Now take them bolts out. Take them bolts out of the brake booster. Yeah, I don't know if this has been any easier or not. I'll tell you what. See where I'm at? Then got the whole steering column pulled out of there. No, it's not any easier. But I couldn't even see them parts up there. That right. See right in the center of the picture? I couldn't even see them parts, much less get to pull the clip off. So I said, well, I'm going to pull the steering shaft off. I thought I was going to pull a slick one, but like that Cadillac, you can just pull off your bottom trim down here, drop 2 bolts, and you got that, can't think of it right now. I can't think of it right now. I'll put it in there when I edit. Anyway, you just drop it down and I'd have been right in there, but all these metal pieces in there, I couldn't get to it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull all that apart. I'm going to go ahead and take out the 15mm bolts. You can see them back in there. Good shot right there of it. I'll get all them off of there, and then I think I'm going to be done for the day, because I'm waiting on parts. So once I pull this, I'm trying to put that shaft back in there, and once I pull that shaft plumb off of there, I said, well, I'm into it now. I ain't no use putting it back till I get this power booster put in there. That way I can still get to it much easier. much easier. But whether it's easier, I don't know. Heck, it might be easier the old way. I mean, it's not too bad if you want to sit there and mess with that clip for 30 minutes. Or I spent 30 minutes pulling all this apart, so whatever you want to do. But if it wasn't for these studs right here sticking down, these right here sticking out, I'd be able to drop that steering column right on down. But then I had to pull the center bolt, or that bolt, out of the steering shaft so I could pull it plumb off of them studs right there. So once I had it pulled off the stud, off the steering shaft, then I wasn't going to go back together with it until I got it all done. There ain't no use. So okay, I'm gonna get off here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get them 15mm bolts out of there. And then I'm gonna call it a day until my parts come in, because that's about as far as I can go. I don't want to break them brake lines. In fact, I'll get some liquid wrench and I'll stick it on them right there. I may not need them, I may not, but I don't think they'll be that tight. But I'll go ahead and put it on there anyway, so it'll be soaking for a few days. It's okay, we'll be right back with then we'll start. This will all be loose time I get done, and then we can finish the rest of it. Okay, right there, that white piece, that's your brake switch. And I took a long crescent wrench handle right here, went up in there and pulled that shaft off the other shaft. Just wedge it in there and pop it off there. It wasn't too bad. Just gotta make sure it don't go back on there. You can see the end of the shaft right there. So now I gotta get them bolts out. Okay, if you're gonna pull this apart, there's a 10mm, looks like. Not sure, but guess I could check real quick. Yeah, it's a 10mm. Okay, got all them bolts out. These are like aircraft bolts, so that's them long-winded ones. That was fun. Tell you what, I'm gonna go order me a electric ratchet. That with a long 15 deep socket with a ratchet. I don't think so, going back together. About 50 bucks I can get a nice one. I'm gonna get me an electric half-inch drive. Okay, for those who's gonna pull the steering column completely out, these shift cable, these right here pop off. You just get in behind there and they'll pop off of there on both sides. These will just pop off of there. Get in behind it. Okay, back here in the back, you got a U-clip right here. Pull that U-clip out and see how this cable sits down in there. Pull that U-clamp out and it'll come out right here. That's how you take the cable off. Really pretty simple. So I'm going to move this over here back out of the way. Look at that front chamber, it's completely empty. And I haven't even been driving it. So it just leaked completely out. Okay, I got everything loose. Got these brake lines loose. This is all loose. Still waiting on parts, so I'm gonna get as much done on this as I can. But get a pump and I'll pump that out. I'll stick it over here, and this got just a little bit in it. This, I'm not going to use any more of this. I'm going to switch over to synthetic. You need a .3. So I'll get a pump, get that pumped out of there. I got them loose. I got brake lines loose, and I had to use a hammer, 15 millimeter, and a hammer to get them loose. It might not be a bad idea to get them loosened up before you take off your power booster, because see, it is kind of loosey-goosey here. So I'll get a pump and a hose, and we'll get that pumped out of there. Well, that pump's not going to work. Got transmission fluid in it, and I don't want to, and the hoses are way too long, so I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to take these two bolts off, these two lines off, and I'll just take and dump it in my pan where I dump my oil. And then I'll go from that to a gallon container, get rid of it. Deep socket. I wouldn't have to take all this apart, but means I'm not going to be able to dump out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this smaller part off so I can get it dumped before of course, when I take off them bottom lines, it's going to come gushing out, isn't it? More than likely. I'll just have to stick a finger over it. I just don't want to drop my bolt here. Pretty tight quarters here. See if I can go in from up underneath. That's like an aircraft type bolt. Got the Teflon ring around it. You got to pull off every single thread. It won't get loose. That was 15 millimeter back there. This in here is 9/16. I'm going to go ahead and pull all this out of here. I better go get me a pan so I can dump that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it wasn't sealing real good. Look at the back of that. Found some more in there. Well, I'll just throw that down in there. Let her leak out. I'll go. All these lines in the way. Pull straight up on it if I can. Gonna have to move you guys over here. So I gotta get over there. Gotta get over there closer. Okay, now we can get it out of here. I don't hear nothing in it. Yeah, this one wasn't really leaking. You know how they give you the hissing noise and you can hear that major vacuum leak? This one's still fine, but I figured being as rusty as it is, and I'm gonna change them both out. The thing is awful heavy. Let's see if there's any. I don't see no fluid in it. It didn't come out that hole. I'm gonna go get some something to cover these lines up. I just don't want any dirt getting in it. Okay, we've got some plastic hose here. Move them things in there and fittings, and we'll there we go, that ought to work. Okay, one last thing I can get done is get this old check valve off of here. get some kind of pliers and get that thing moved down and get that thing off of there. Okay, got it off of there. Check valve. Move that clamp down. Yeah, the new power booster will come with a new one. So get all the old stuff off and get ready to start putting on the new. Okay guys, we're gonna take a break on this. We're still waiting on parts to come in. This video's already getting about 30 minutes long, so I'm gonna make a part 1 and part 2 out of this. This just be stripping it all down and waiting on parts. These wires that goes up to the top part right here, if you're wondering what that is, that's for your electric brakes that goes on the trailer. That's what them wires are for. So we're gonna wait on parts, and they should be in tomorrow. So we're gonna, like I say, we're gonna make this a part 1, part 2 video. So part 2 will be out shortly. I gotta get this truck together ASAP. I will be bidding on a Camaro for the channel in just a few days, in just less than a week. So I gotta get this truck together so I can go get it. Alright, thanks for watching.